Ya lo hice, ya lo hice. What's up, brother? Yeah, sí, quédate aquí porque se pierde la señal. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep. How you doing, champ?
Doing good, man. Just in the gym right now.
Yeah, this is Jeff Zimmerman with Fight News, man. I've known your dad for quite some time. I interviewed you when you fought under the Spence Garcia card, and it's an honor to interview you again.
Yeah, yes, sir.
So are you up in Big Bear right now?
Yeah, I'm in Big Bear, California at the Abel Sanchez Summit Gym. I've been here I came in December 14th, so almost 10 weeks already.
Okay.
Or
and
9 or 10 weeks.
Okay. And how's camp going?
It's going really good, man. You know, I'm probably gonna say this is the best camp I've ever been in. You know, I'm really focused. I'm where I want to be at mentally and physically, and I feel, you know, amazing, man. We've been getting some good sparring sessions in. The most rounds of sparring I've got in is about 17 rounds. So if the fight was tomorrow, I can fight tomorrow. You know, the weight is looking good too. Everything is perfect right now. So I'm just waiting to have a great performance on March 13th.
Awesome. And I know you were down, you went down the mountain and visited the Garcia gym. Saw you there with my fellow Texans, Virgil Ortiz, Jr. and Senior. How was that?
It was great, man. You know, it's always a good experience when you go to gyms like that, because you always got young, hungry fighters that, you know, are willing to make a name for themselves and willing to give you the best. They're all in sparring. So, you know, I sparred for Cal. You know, he was a bronze medalist. I think he's 160, 168, something like that. I also sparred Alexis Espinosa. And then some other guy, I don't know his name, but he was he's a really declared amateur. So I got some good work, man. And I got to meet Virgil Ortiz and his father, or I got to see him, not meet, you know, because I've seen him a couple times already. You know, they're very, very nice dudes, man. It was all the dudes out there at Class Act.
Well, what's up with all these Mexican American trainer and sons that are at the top of boxing with you and your dad? You got Virgil and his dad. You got Gabe Flores Jr. coming up with his dad. What is it?
I think, to be honest, I think it was just a dream that our fathers probably had, a dream that they wanted for themselves, but didn't quite make it themselves. So, you know, next best thing to do is you know, complete the dream with your sons. You know, it's a very beautiful thing to see, you know, just the bond between a father and a son in boxing, man. And, you know, I just have my own child too. So I'm looking to continue that and, you know, have my son as a champion too when he gets of that age. So, but I think it's just, you know, this is how Mexican Americans are. You know, I think, you know, you either got soccer or boxing, and this is the thing, you know, boxing with us is everything.
That's awesome, man. And congratulations on your son. I've been following you on Instagram, and I can see the bond already, although I know it's tough being away from him.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. But, you know, it is very hard, but, you know, sometimes you want to be a top level boxer and you want to be a world champion. These are the sacrifices you have to make to get to that point.
So let's talk about that, David, because I don't know if everybody knows your story. Your brother, Jose, you know, had all the accolades coming out of the amateurs. You know, I think it was 11-time national champion, signed with Top Rank as the youngest ever at the time. You kind of like, you know, did all your stuff kind of low key behind the scenes. I know you got real heavy at, you know, as a teenager. You went pro, correct me if I'm wrong, at 16, 15 amateur fights, and now you're a 2-time super middleweight champion of the world. What does that mean to you?
You know, it means the world to me. It means that anything you put your mind to, you can. I'm sorry. Hello?
Yeah, I'm good.
It means nothing is out of reach. You know, anything you put your mind to, you could accomplish. But the thing about that, when I was younger, my brother showed more of the fire when he was younger. When we were kids, I mean, I had been training my whole life. I started boxing when I was 3 years old, but he took the route of the amateur. You know, he was a really declared amateur. And then for me, I didn't really, you know, my dad it was always mandatory for me to train, but I didn't really know if that's what I wanted to do. Until I got, my dad moved away with my brother, and I ended up gaining 100 pounds, close to 100 pounds when I was 12. So, I mean, by the time I got to that point, I just went to California to train, you know, just to lose the weight at 13. And then I thought to myself, man, like, you mean, I mean, it's a dream, you know, it seems really far away, but, you know, I'm gonna try my best to try to make it happen and see what happens. If I don't become champion, if I don't become something big in boxing, it's all right. The only thing I want to know for myself is that I really tried. So, you know, that's just the route I took. I lost all the weight. And then I started sparring a lot of big professional big champions. I sparred Latif Coyote when I was 14. Then I sparred Kelly Pavlik at 15, Gabriel Rosado. And then I came here to the Summit Gym when I was 15, 16 years old. I sparred Golovkin for the first time. And then, I just kept coming back because it was amazing work and I learned a lot. So I feel like my amateur career was sparring these world champions, because at the end of the day, these world champions, they get you in the ring and sparring, they're going to try to kill you. So this was probably a little bit more dangerous than the amateur fights because I was fighting really decorated fighters, really good champions that know how to stop people. So I had to learn to defend myself and I had to learn how to do other stuff, that's different besides an amateur fight. Amateur fight is just scoring points and winning the fight. Here, you're fighting against the world champion. You're fighting for your life, because I didn't want to get stopped. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's how I learned, and that's how I got the most from my experience. And then we decided to go pro at 16 years old, and the rest is history.
Do you feel like you're still underestimated though, even with all that experience and background with the champions? Do you still feel like
I feel like I am underestimated? I feel like I'm a little bit overlooked at times, but at the end of the day, that's better for me. I want these guys to think I'm nothing. I want them to think that they're more talented or that I've never been in deep waters. Because once I get in the ring with them, it's a whole different story. I have a lot of experience. I've been professional 8 years already. So I can say I'm a young veteran right now, and I still feel like I have 15 years left in the game. So I'm looking forward for whatever comes my way in the future.
so? And being a young fighter, becoming a young champion, you had a lot on your plate, no doubt, right? Things
Yeah, definitely.
Your financial situations, you got caught up in some stuff. You lost the belt out of the ring, not to dwell on it. And then the last time with COVID, you lost the belt again. You're probably the only one that's become champion twice and then lost it twice out of the ring. But we'll leave that to the historians. What did you learn from those experiences, though?
Well, the first time, it was just, I feel like 20, I made a whole lot of money and I didn't really realize what platform I was in. Obviously, I always trained hard inside the gym, but I was doing some stuff on the outside that it wasn't professional on my part. And, situations I shouldn't be putting myself in, but I got suspended. I paid a hefty fine and, I had to learn from that experience. And the last time, it was just with COVID, everything was different. Things were closed up. I didn't have access to the stuff I had access to. And so, the second time for losing the belt was something just completely like, it was something that I had no control over. You know what I mean? I didn't have saunas. The stuff I usually need to make weight, I didn't have access to. And then being in the bubble for 3 days straight, when you have to quarantine in the room, is just a situation I've never been in. And also when you get out, when they let you out, finally, you could only leave the room for an hour a day. So it was just something that I didn't have no control of. I could have made the weight if I had the access to the stuff I usually have. But hey, you live and you learn. I feel like the best teacher in life is experience. And I've gone through a lot of stuff already. So, I'm right now, like I said, I'm very motivated. I just had my son. And the thing that the best part about everything is that I've never lost sight and I've never lost the hunger. I'm in the gym training like an animal. And right now I want the big fights because I feel like I am the best super middleweight in the world. I just need the chance to prove myself and the opportunity to prove myself to the whole world.
And I think if I recall talking to your dad when you were, in Dallas at Derek James' gym, getting ready for Javion Love, I think he told me, the first incident may have been a blessing in disguise. Just you're young, it's better to go through something like that young and come out of it, right, than later on in life.
Yeah, exactly. And it's, I'm still very young right now. I think when that happened to me, I was 21. Right now, I just turned 24 in December. So, I'm still very young. So, I think it's better you make all the mistakes earlier in your career than later in the career.
Sure. So you mentioned the superweight division or super middleweight division, one of the hottest in the sport. And, I think about you and knowing your dad and your brother, always respectful, always, polite and everything. But you're a killer in the ring. You're not afraid to call out your opponents. Not everybody's like that in boxing today. You want those big fights. You're not scared of potentially losing or what have you. Where does that come from?
Well, I feel like, of course, I'm a gentleman. I'm a nice person. But if somebody comes at me the wrong way, I'm a fighter. It's in my nature to fight. And like I said, I'm a young veteran. I have 8 years professional. I want a little bit more excitement. I want to put my record up against these bigger names. And, you know, I want the fights to be 50-50 because I know for myself, when I put myself in that situation, when I fight the best out of comes out of me. And you know, it's just, you know, I feel like I deserve these big chances. I've proved myself. You know, I paid my dues, and a lot of other people are getting chances and they haven't even paid their dues. So I just want to put up the most exciting fights possible. You know, I have a lot of fans that support me, a lot of Mexican American, a lot of Mexican, a lot of Latino fans too, you know, of fans from all over the world. And I feel like it's my job to give them the most exciting fights possible because they pay their good money to watch me fight. They pay their good money when they go to the fights or when they pay for Showtime or they do any of that stuff. So, and you know, like how they invest in me, I got to invest in myself and give everybody the best version of myself.
Now, it's known that you and Caleb Plant kind of have this heated rivalry going on. There's been talk about Jamal Charlo, you know, possibly, and then obviously the guy who kind of, you know, is the top dog in boxing, Canelo. Which of those three would you say, knowing yourself, would give you would be your toughest test?
It would definitely be Canelo. Canelo is the best, and he's the unified champion right now for a reason. But I feel like I have what it takes, you know, to possibly beat Canelo and to give Canelo the best fight of everybody. Also, but you know, I can't say Caleb Plant or Charlo is going to be easy fight. They're all obviously big, hard fights. But I feel like Canelo would be the best, hardest fight. But you know, I feel like he hasn't fought nobody like me in a while. You know, long arms, has power in both hands, is probably possibly faster than him. You know, so and at the end of the day, man, I feel like everybody who's fought him is a little bit scared of him. And, you know, everybody he fights, you know, he ends up just pushing him back. He's smaller than everybody, but everybody always seems to be running from him. So, you know, with me, I feel like if I fight him, it'll be a completely different fight. It'll be fire fighting fire. So when that fight happens, the people who are going to win are the fans because it's going to be an amazing fight.
Because your style obviously is not to back down. You're a come forward fighter. I covered his last fight in San Antonio against Caleb Smith, and it just seems like once he gets started going downhill, it seems like nobody has a plan for that.
Yeah. You mean I mean those are just people he's fought. It's just different other people. I mean, obviously he's, you know, he does everything very good, but it's my job to be prepared for whatever comes my way. And if I'm telling you I'm going to give him a great fight, then, you know, I don't want to embarrass myself either, you know, to have the complete opposite happen. I'm going to train extremely hard right now. I'm training for this fight for Ronald Ellis, he's like really unknown, but I'm preparing for him like if it's a world title fight. Now imagine if I land a Canelo fight, how hard I would be training for that fight. So, I mean, only time will tell, and we'll see what happens if I ever get in the ring with him.
Now, your dad, I know, is self-taught, you know, and then he tutored under like Freddie Roach for a long time. In your game, where do you see you need to improve the most? I mean, you're already a world champion, but you're still young in the sport, even though you've been pro for a while. Where would you say you need to improve the most?
I feel in every area I need to improve in. I mean, not only because I don't do things good, because I feel like as you evolve as a fighter, everything needs to evolve with you as well. I feel like, you know, I could cut the ring off a little bit better. You know, I could do a little bit side steps, go back a little bit, you know, throw more body shots, everything. You know, my job is to get better, and that's what I'm working on every day. I mean, I feel like I'm doing pretty good. I'm 23-0 with 20 knockouts, but there's still a lot of room for improvement, and that's exactly what I'm going to do.
I read the story by Greg Bishop, Sports Illustrated, really diving into the family dynamic. I obviously knew a little bit about your family through the years, and, you know, obviously knowing your dad. What is the relationship with your dad? What does that mean to you in and out of the ring?
You know, just my dad is, you know, he's everything to me. I mean, he's my cook. You know, he's my friend. He's a motivator. You know, he's somebody that I go to for advice. You know, he's everything to me. You know, and I feel like it's very special for me to have this bond with him. And then just, you know, when we train and we spar people, we really don't talk. He doesn't really tell me nothing because we're already on the same page. It's just chemistry. You know, you can't really teach or buy chemistry. You know, that's just the thing about between me and him. We've been through so much ups and downs, and we just really understand each other. When we both work in the ring, we know exactly what we're going for. So he's always on the same page with me. So I feel like, it's just a blessing to be able to reach this level with my father. And I continue, I'm going to continue, you know, continue to accomplish his and my dreams. We have a lot of dreams. I feel like we still haven't even accomplished anything. There's still a lot of things that we need to accomplish. But with him by my side, I feel like I could reach for the stars, and I could get anything I want with him.
And we'll wrap it up here in a minute. Talk about Ronald Ellis. You mentioned kind of an unknown. He did have a fight. I think it was on like Showbox not too long ago, and his bad luck opponent, got hurt. What kind of he seemed like a mover, in and out type of fighter. What kind of threat does he pose for you?
At the end, everybody poses a threat at the end of the day because it's boxing. Anything could happen in boxing. So it's my job to be ready for anything. The way I see him, he's more of a boxer. He's going to try to use the ring a little bit more. So my plan is to cut the ring off, go to the body, start out and, hit him with a lot of jabs. But I feel like it's going to be an early knockout. The thing about him is, I give him a lot of credit for accepting the fight because we're trying to get a fight. The first two names that we were going to get was Linnell Thompson. He turned it down. And then Uskateki. Uskateki turned it down. And then, Ronald Ellis, he came up, he accepted the fight. So, I give him a lot of respect for that. But as of a threat, I don't really see him as a threat. I'm working extremely hard here. I've worked with a lot of, hard-hitting guys in the ring. So I'm expecting this fight to be a quick knockout. And I'm looking to have an amazing performance come March 13th.
Awesome. And then we'll end it here, David. You're obviously got a good head on your shoulders. You got a lot of big dreams, you and your dad. When it's all said and done, what do you want your legacy to be in boxing?
I want to be the greatest of my generation. I've when I look back at it, I want to say 2020s, possibly to 2035. That was Benavidez's era, and just like all my idols I have when I was a kid, Oscar De La Hoya, Tito Trinidad, Manny Pacquiao, just how they dominated their era. That's how I want to dominate my era, and I'm gonna keep working until I make that happen. But I feel like, with hard work and the way my mind, the way I am, the place I am at mentally right now, I feel like it's really possible, and I'm gonna keep working until I make that happen.
Awesome, David. Hey, man, I can't thank you enough for doing this. I'm going to get it posted up on fightnews.com. You're a great guy. Love your family. I wish you all the best. March, what is it? March 13th?
13th, yeah. Okay, thank you, brother. I appreciate you taking your time to interview me too. Thank you so much.
All right, we'll see you in Dallas soon, hopefully. Good luck.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Thanks, champ.